Big Beard RC. In this video we're going to take a look at the 124019 and how to remove and grease the diffs. This should be done prior to even putting one battery through it. If the 144001 is anything to go by, the amount of grease or lack of grease that's fitted is an issue. So we're going to run through how we grease the diffs on the 124019. So first off, you need a Phillips screwdriver. There is 8 screws, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. If you're familiar with the 144001, it's the exact same process to remove. It's very similar. Obviously there's some slight differences in this than the original. So hope everybody's well out there. It's going to be a start of a build process I'm doing on this. Some interesting plans for this car. Straight out of the box I already really like the car. I haven't run it yet. I haven't even plugged a battery in. I've done an unboxing video, so if you haven't seen that, check it out. We've brought it straight into the workshop to get the essentials done, because I think that's what you should do before you run anything, is make sure everything's running smoothly. It's okay putting a battery through it and then telling everybody that they should do it. I think you should do it first. So let's start as we mean to go on. So once the 8 screws are removed, we remove the top plate, which is slightly different than the 144001. This is completely flat rather than having a recess, and it's reinforced to give the stability for the longer drive shaft and the longer chassis. So we'll start at the front. So you need to remove 1 screw off here to allow you to move the plate. Remember, when you remove this, there is a washer bushing underneath that needs to go back in, so it's under there. So what I'll do is I'll remove that for your purposes. He says as he loses it. That's the one. So we'll put that to the side. That just sits under there and in there. I am going to be doing the steering modification on this, as I do with my 144s. So you need a 5.5mm for the shock towers. So we'll remove them. Remember, when you put these back on, not to go mad on pressure, because you'll break the metal roller inside that allows it to move, and that's just not good. Remove that. Leave the screws intact. Just pop the shocks off. Next we'll remove the 2 tie rods at the top here, not the ones on the steering arm, the 2 on the top, to allow us to remove the dog bone. You don't need a lot of pressure to remove these, as you can see. So dog bones pushed aside, shocks pushed aside. There is 2 screws at the front, 2 in the middle, 2 in the end. So 6 screws in total. So we'll remove the 6 screws. Remember to try and keep piles of where things go, so you're not got a big heap of screws. That'll be my Big Beard tip of the day. If you're taking multiple things off, create piles and usually put things together so you know where they go. So I'll separate these 6 screws and put them with the diff cover when I take it off, so I know that they're for the diff cover, which is obviously where they go back. And the more you take these off, the more you're going to get used to where things go. It becomes second nature. I'm impressed with the size of the battery tray on this. You get an enormous battery in there. In fact, I think my car battery would fit in there. So let's get this last screw out, and then we can see if there's any differences in the diffs when we remove them. So the diff cover should just pop off like so. Pop that with your screws, and then we'll remove the differential. And as I thought, there's no grease in there, none at all. So I'm just going to get a wipe to hold it with. I'm going to clean off some of the grease off the side, because it's doing nothing when it's sat on the side. And then there's 4 screws to remove to get inside the differential. I'm quite interested to see if they've kept the same gearing inside, or maybe they've upgraded it. But we'll find out together. So that's the 4th screw out. There we go. No, as you can see, zero greasing, nothing at all. Nothing at all. So I have a tub of lithium grease that I got from a local car spares. I think I paid £4 for a massive tube of it, and that was about 6 cars ago, and I've still got the same amount in that tub as I put in near enough. So what we do is fill it with grease. Remember, inside here is some pins, and the pins fit in the little holes. The big holes are for the screws, and as you align it, you should get a little squirt of grease outside, so that you know then that you've put enough in there. When you put the screws back in, back them in just so they get to the tip of the gear, so that you can get all 4 perfectly lined, and then go around in a diagonal motion to tighten them up. So you go, if you had it at 12, 3, 6 and 9, you'd 12, 6, 3, 9, whichever way you want to do it, as long as you go opposites, because you want equal pressure when you put the diffs back on. So I'll tighten 9, and I go to 3, then I'll go to 12, and I go to 6. And what that does is that applies equal force when you shut it, so you get equal pressure applied, and then you'll be able to push that, it'll sit perfectly down in there. So just pop the car back here, and we will pop them back in. So as you can see, nice and smooth now, no issues whatsoever. Pop that back in, and then diff cover back on. I'm just going to wipe my hands to get rid of any excess grease, because I don't want grease all over the car. You will notice that I didn't put any more grease back on that external diff. It's because I don't think you necessarily need it, because it wasn't doing anything anyway. So, and what is a little tip for you as well, when you're putting the diff cover back on, put 1 screw in the front lightly, and then go to the opposite angle in the middle, put the other one in, tighten that, then tighten that, and then that'll apply equal force yet again. And I know I keep saying about this, but what it does is it stops uneven tension. So when you're tightening up, everything's tightening flat rather than one-sided. So if you can imagine a flat plate, you tighten one side, it's going to pull down one side. So when you tighten that, you're putting unnecessary tension and wear on these threads. So that's why I tend to do alternates. Just me, but when I was at college, I was taught to use opposite forces, so it's something that stuck with me. Right, so diff covers back on, dog bones are going to go back in, so make sure that the steering arm is facing the right way, and then you can pop on your tie rod, take your shock, pop your shock back on. Same on the opposite side, but I'll spin this round. You make sure the dog bones are aligned. Take your tie rod onto the ball and then pop it back on. I'll do this one this way, and then you can put your shocks back on. So we'll start the nuts off by hand to make sure that there's no cross threading. Then it's your Phillips screwdriver and your 5.5. If you haven't got a 5.5mm nut runner like this, you can use the little multi-tool that come with the car, or a pair of pliers or spanners. I wouldn't particularly use pliers, but you can do if that's all you've got. Some people's toolkits are very limited. I'm fortunate enough to have a decent one. So they're back on, and then remember that bushing. The bushing fits underneath there. Slide it round and it fits on the external one. So it always fits on the outside one. And then you take your screw. I start by hand, but like I said, this is going to have a steering modification on it shortly, so I'll be doing a video on that if you guys are interested. Take a peek, and also if you're not already subscribed, smash the like button, subscribe, and check us out at Big Beard RC on Facebook, Big Beard RC on Instagram. We've got a Wltoys 144001 off-road speed run group going at the moment, so come and check us out. Yeah, we've got some interesting things coming on. So that's enough of me waffling. Pop that out of the way. The rear is slightly different because obviously you have the rear spoiler fitted, so you can either take the 4 screws off here or take these off. I tend to take the 4 screws off here because it's much easier. So it's a lot better now. I'm using my bench and it's white and I can see where everything is. I do have a magnetic tray for everything, but for video purposes I don't use it because everything can get mixed up, and it's hard to show you guys what's what. So we take the, didn't lose the screw, take the rear wing off, which then leads you to more or less identical. So same again, you pop the 5.5mm nuts off, and then once you've done that, you can get it's stuck inside. Pop your shocks off, push them to one side. Same again, put your steering rods, tie rods, turnbuckles, steering rods, whatever you wish to call them. Same again, 2, 4, 6. So we'll remove them again, which gives us access to the diff. They're really well built, these Wltoys, for the price you pay for them. The quality is there. It's great. I've had my basher now for 5 months. I've taken to skate parks, off-road bashing, off-road speed running, and apart from a couple of broken bits, I've never had an issue. Wheel nuts. I advise you to lock tight your wheel nuts. Whatever the nylocks are that Wltoys use, or XK, are absolutely dreadful. That wheel nuts I've lost is, I don't even want to think about it. So remove them, tower off, pop that there to go with screws. We're gonna move that out of the way, remove that, move the car, and we're back to where we was on the first one. So I'm going to clean off this goo that does nothing other than sits in there and retains every bit of dirt possible. Remove the 4 screws, like so. I'd rather show you this process than try and explain it, because it might come in handy if somebody gets stuck replacing things or removing things. But I'm digging the new colour concept, the purple and the white and the purple and the silver. I think it looks really nice. Definitely an improvement on the green and blue. I've only ever had the greens. The red seemed to be dearer for some reason. Same again, bone dry, look at that. I mean, not even a smidgen in there. So same again, let's get a dollop of grease in there, get it all lubed up like that's lovely. Yeah, for some reason I don't understand why the red ones are always dearer than the green ones. It must be because they're in more high demand, so to speak. Don't understand why. Same car, but I suppose it's like anything. If you look at real cars, you know, you have a certain specific colour that ends up being the sought after one, and people pay a premium for it. So I've only ever bought the green ones. And because I don't really keep them stock, I don't really bother. If I had a stock one just to run stock, I think I'd buy a red body, because I think the red is a much better colour concept. And so same again, we don't tighten them all the way. Get them up to the point where they're touching the, I'm sure they're called sun gears, but I don't actually know. But so I'm just going to wipe my hands a second. I just need another wipe because they're full of grease. Just start wearing gloves really, but you live and you learn. So same again, I'll do 12, get that nipped, 6, to apply equal pressure, 3, and 9. So we're back together. Nice smooth gears now. And remember, this isn't just a one-time only thing that you should do. You should do this periodically to make sure that your diffs are going to last, because these aren't sealed with gaskets, so you will get seepage, and the grease will dissipate, so you will end up having to replace some of the grease eventually, so bear that in mind. But within a couple of turns you'll be flying. So one in the middle this time, only because it's facing me, not too tight. One in the opposite corner there, and what we'll do is we'll tighten this one, nip this one, and then we'll carry on tightening up. So once we've fitted these 6 screws, we can then reassemble the shocks, put the dog bones in. I've just noticed that the front's a CVD as well. Sorry, that was just me noticing that there were CVDs, not noticing something different. I just noticed that they had CVDs, like the 144001. I do have a difference in mine that I haven't seen before. I have on my rear shocks bump stops, which I've not seen on anything before, but mine have got little red bump stops. I don't know where they've come from, but they're on there, so hey ho. So next we take the dog bones and place them in, and we'll be changing these out to CVDs at some point. Like the LC Racing ones I've got on my 144. I've got a video on that if you want to check it out. They've been installing them. I think they're from AWDRC. They fit a lot better in the hubs. They fit a lot. They're just a lot better quality overall. They fit better in the hubs. They don't pop out when being CVDs. It's slightly longer, thicker. They're a lot better. So that'll be another upgrade I'll be doing on this in the not so distant future. We'll have to order some though. Remember, I lost one in here because my nut runner was hungry and didn't want it. You're not having it back, it's mine. Well, no, it's mine, so get off. So remember what I said on the front ones, don't go mad, because you'll just squash the little ball that's inside there. So nip that up, flip that over. The only thing I don't like that I've noticed on this is the battery strap. But I'll come to that in a second. But we'll just take this. Best way I find to put these on is I push that through there, and then I line up one, and then start it off. Go to the opposite corner, and then hope for video sake that this one will go through and will catch, and I won't look like I don't know what I'm doing. And it has. So do like this this purple and white. It's really good. Purple and silver, purple and white. These work stands are quite good as well, these cheap eBay work stands. Brilliant for like my big Absema truck, and not so bad on here. When you're putting pressure on it, it does get a bit wobbly, but if you was to fit this through the table, it wouldn't move. It'd be brilliant. So that might be something I'll look at. This has got thicker side plates as well. Here, they're a lot thicker than the standards. They're not as thin. So maybe they've upgraded them for some reason. So we'll replace this centre brace, or whatever people call it. It used to be, I used to call it the ES, like the radio plate, but it doesn't hold the radio plate anymore, so I can't call it that. So remember that the capped screws go into the metalwork, so they go into steering arms and the engine mounts. This is going to have one of my custom engine mounts, motor mounts in, and we'll be testing it on this car, and if all goes well, then I might be supplying them to people if people are interested. We've made a couple now, and should be getting some feedback soon, so hopefully they work, and I'll be able to show you guys in one of my videos what we've done. It's not 100% my idea. It was shared to me by somebody else, and I've done it in my way, but it works. So far it works, so I'm hoping that they're going to work great. So you replace the 8 screws back in, make sure that the plastic screws go in the plastic and the metal screws go in the metal, and make sure everything is nice and nipped like that, and we're done. But what I'm going to say is, I don't like this. I don't like how they've fitted this. It'd have been better there, but I don't like how the wire comes over to meet the battery, and if you put it under there, it's going to rub against the shaft. So to finish off, we replace the lid. I've not even took the plastic off this yet. See, it's not the greatest of ideas, that. Don't like it. Not keen on it at all. Definitely going to have to come up with a better idea for that, because that'll do my head in, and I will end up launching it. So clips back in, and we're done. That's how you grease the diffs. Remove the diffs, replace the diffs, and put everything back together. Job done. Wonderful. Right, thanks for watching. Check out some of the videos. Remember to check us out at Facebook at Big Beard RC, Instagram at Big Beard RC. Take care, everybody. I'll see you on another video. Remember, if you like what you see, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified of any future videos.